Well, I forgot what I was talking about. All right. Welcome, everybody, back to another of our 31 Days of Horror Reviews. Today, we have Bop Old. It's M. Night Shyamalan's Old. Now, or Shyamalan for those that aren't as cultured as I am. Anyway, this film, it had really, really cool moments, but it's just really it's hard to really put into words. There's really, really strange things that it just didn't really make sense to me. Going into it, unfortunately, if you put Shyamalan's name on something, everyone is immediately jumping to, well, it's a twist, something's changed, something's different, something's not being told to us yet. So we'll get into it. I'll discuss it as we get there. But let's start with that trailer and plot, shall we? Old. A thriller about a family on a tropical holiday who discover that the secluded beach where they are relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. Now, I know this trailer is going to probably play a little bit too long because they gave a lot away in the trailer, unfortunately. But they left out some really good scares. Some really interesting things that they did in the film. This movie is not scary. Like, it's not. They do a good job. Well, let's talk about the plot. So it starts off a family going on a vacation. They meet, hang out. You get a quick little dynamic of the mother and father's relationship and how the kids are doing their thing. A little bit quirkiness about each one of the characters. The boy can always remember somebody's name and one unique thing about them. The mother is definitely going through some sort of medical issue right now and is kind of trying to get away from it. The father just seems like happy-go-lucky. It was really strange to say, for the first time in a film, a father didn't come off as, or a horror movie, the father didn't come off as like a turbo douche. Like, it's strange to say, but anyways, the family get invited to a secluded beach where a gentleman let them know that, okay, maybe you and a couple of other people are going to be there, but not too many. That's why we kind of have it separated off from everywhere else, as you can see in the trailer and as it's everywhere all over the film. They get there, they hang out for a bit. They're accompanied by another family of a mother, father, daughter, and a grandmother and a dog. They get there, they find a rapper. I want to make sure I get this rapper's name. This, which the daughter points out, is named Midsize Sedan. Yeah. Anyways, I won't go crazy into it. I'm not gonna spoil the entire thing, but you know, they get there, another family joins, so that's a total of what? The rapper, his girlfriend, the family of 4, that's 6, the family of 4, that's 10, and then 2 more arrive, which you see kind of early on, one of which has seizures, and they're uncontrollable and randomly happen. A body washes up to shore, and we kind of cut back to the very beginning where a girl goes swimming, which the girl now we know is the rapper's girlfriend. A body washes up to shore. They are dead. Everyone freaks out. People that are separated, they finally come back. The kid says, my shorts aren't fitting right. Something's wrong. They realize that he's aged roughly 5 years in the about 3 hours they've hung out there. Yeah, roughly. I believe that's the just about of it. Anytime they try to go back the way they came, it treats it as almost a breaching the surface too quickly in like a submarine where you would probably black out because you're not used to the pressure or something like that. It was a strange excuse. It makes sense, but it's kind of strange. They will walk themselves all the way back and then pass out. Very key that they always walk themselves back and then pass out. That doesn't have anything to do with the twist, but it's very strange that they have the mental capability to walk themselves all the way back to almost the exact same position. It quickly is let known that all of them have some sort of medical condition. Because you witness a few, a girl mentions that she has a calcium deficiency. Her husband, I think his mom has some sort of mental issue. The lady with the seizures, the mother quickly is let known that she has a tumor of some sort on her person. And the rapper midsize sedan has a blood clotting issue. It's a hemophilia, roughly. And of course, it's one of those movies where it's going to be like, who survives, what's the cause, and it's that type of plot. But the plot itself, I enjoyed the idea of the plot. Was it pulled off? Meh. I like the plot's probably going to be the highest point of this film because I enjoy the idea of it. They do not pull it off that well, but I do enjoy the idea of it. Like I said, that's probably about as far as I'll want to talk about it. I'll probably mention one of the unique things that they do later on in the film. But the plot itself gets a 7. I enjoyed the idea of a plot. They carried it as far as they could. But some of the writing got in its own way. Definitely. Character development, they're themselves. It's one day, but they're living up to roughly about 50 years in 24 hours. So people who are already in their 40s are aging to their 90s. But their hair and their nails never change. They mentioned that early on. And they let it know that hair molecules and fingernail molecules are already dying like at a rapid rate, and that's why they never move or change. I personally believe that it's because they didn't want to constantly update people's makeup. They do a great job with wrinkles. They could not constantly do that with hair. It would drive them nuts. There was a character who begins kind of thinning, which I thought was a nice little touch. Besides that, there's not a lot of character development. They try to begin trusting each other. Kind of later on, they're starting to call themselves a family before one of them kind of isn't handling aging that well. Character development's probably about a 4. I'll give it a 5. Like, eventually, some of them kind of like understand it's their fate. They'll try to do what they can, so on and so forth. The thread itself, it's mostly the timeline and how the timeline will affect people with different sorts of conditions. That's why the medical thing has such a major thing to it. The threat, they did some really interesting things with the concept of age, like time. Like 3 days, roughly. I think that they made the joke of like the son holds the daughter's face for like a few seconds. She's like, "You just wasted 3 days of my life with that, but thanks, I really appreciate that." They do really interesting things with the scares. I will spoil one because I don't want to spoil one, but I kind of do. They do a really interesting things with like actual props. I can't think of what the name of it is. It's the type of horror where you actually have to build something and they can't just CGI it. They do an excellent job with that. It's not necessarily scary, but I will reward them for doing something so clever with a condition that they mentioned really early on, and how it ties into time going so rapidly. So I'll give it a 5. Like I really enjoyed that. It's kind of early on. Somebody's like another example of this is somebody slashes somebody else with a knife they find, and it's almost seconds later completely scarred over. So it's showing that how rapidly it's healing, which they hammer that home repetitively. So I'll give that a 6 because they really hammer it home. It really makes a lot of sense. As for sound, they don't do a ton. Like, they do kind of the standard M. Night ideas where it's not a ton with sound. Like, the score is kind of basic. It's about another 5. Is it newbie approved? I would say so. I didn't find it scary. It was more of a thriller. It was more of, how do I figure this out? There's not a lot of blood, guts, horror. There's some sad scenes in it. There's some like uplifting scenes in it. I would say it's probably newbie approved. Would I recommend it? I mean, if you've watched enough M. Night Shyamalan movies to this date, why not knock another one out? If you don't like M. Night because you already are predicting, you try to predict everything, it's not for you. Let's see. That body horror, there's a awesome thing they do with it, but it is rough to see it happen. So maybe if you're not into that, it's not newbie approved for that, or recommending to that. But I personally recommended watch it one more time. I will only watch it one more time to see if they don't hint at the twist really throughout the entire thing. I guess they kind of do early on, but not really at all. So the overall score for Old is, I'd probably give it a 5.5, maybe. Yeah, probably about a 5.5. Like, maybe I might give it a 6 flat. I think it's better. I think it's better than Malignant. Definitely better than Malignant. I don't know why I've ranked Malignant so high. I will, on the final review, I'm probably going to drop it by about 5 points. It's already in my head to do so. I like it more than Malignant. I'll give it a 5.5. I'll give it a 5.5. I'll give it a 6. 6 flat. I'm gonna stick to there. 6 flat for it because of the interesting things they got to do with the aspect of aging. I'll give it that. But besides that, there's some rough stuff in it. Like, it's not. I don't know. They did it good by not showing something die, but there's just a lot of things that are kind of hold up with it, if that makes sense. Anyways, that was the review of Old with a 6. I will catch you all next time. I'll see you guys next time. Stay scared, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.